very short home video to replace what we would cover in your staff meeting as promised. First of all, please excuse the graininess of the video. I'm actually at home right now in my home office, and apparently I need better lighting in here because this is very grainy. I am, however, using a brand new tool. It's called Zoom. I stole this from Mrs. Fernandez. Thank you very much. So far, I like this. It's a nice tool. Has lots of bells and whistles that come with the free package. That's always good. So we're going to give it a test drive tonight. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you now so you can see some of the things that I'm talking about. This, you may lose me for a second, but I'll come back, and there we are. Let's scroll up. So this is the agenda, and here's the items on it, and I can share this with you guys as well. Actually, I already have. This is in a shared folder that you have. So the first item on the agenda is the OTES process. As you know, we have started the professional growth plans. You guys have emailed those to me by last Friday, and I've scheduled those meetings with you, and I've had a few of those meetings so far, and so far they've been very good. Some very good plans. They've been very fun for me. And then the second thing here is the Slo Submission Date. Mrs. Irvin did email us out to you earlier this year as well. She sent you a document that was your OTES timeline. And this date is in that document, but I want to bring it to the forefront for you. The Slo submission date is September 29th, so keep that in the back of your mind. Have your test done, your test data, have your SL written, and submitted to us by the 29th. And the third thing here is full versus partial. I've heard this a couple times from staff members. They don't know if they're a full evaluation or a partial evaluation this year. And quite often I get that question as I'm out and about in the hallway. And honestly, I don't have it memorized. But you can see that. You can go to your ETPES account. You can log in. And I think if you go under evaluations, you should be able to see if you're a full or a partial. If you want help doing that, I'll walk you through it. If you get frustrated with it, I do have the list at the school office that I can show you whether you're full or partial, but it is good for you to know how to access that information in ETPES. Line item number 2 is interim reports. The interim date for the first quarter is next Friday, September 22nd. I believe Mrs. Faith has put a document in your mailbox that kind of just outlines the whole process and the date that it opens, the date that it closes, the date that she does this, the date that she does that. So you have that, so make sure that you follow that timeline. Every student does receive a % comment no matter what. However, as always, if a student has an F, you must give an additional comment. Make sure all Fs have an additional comment. Of course, A's, B's, C's, and D's can have additional comments as well. But for certain, make sure if a student is failing your class that they do get that comment. Study halls. I just wanted to put this in here because for the most part, I think they're going pretty well. I've been popping in and out. Kids seem to be on task. They seem to be getting their homework done. I know we're only 4 weeks in. I'm not getting too excited yet. But so far, so good. So keep on working hard. Keep on keeping the kids engaged. Keep them on task. Help them complete their work. Also, if you have a study hall, remember this. You can check their grades as well. You have access now. You can see what assignments are missing and print those out and give those to them. I know many of us do that now, so keep that up. I know Mrs. Loftbaum has a pretty big study hall, and she tries her best to stay on top of that. And she's always kind of printing out grades and giving assignments to kids, so keep that up. But also remember this as well. If you have an academic class and a kid is missing a lot of homework in your academic class, find that kid's study hall teacher and email them. Let that study hall teacher know as well that Johnny's missing X assignments. I know Mrs. Fernandez does that. It does help a lot. So please stay on top of that. Hallways between classes. I got to tell you, this is, I think, going really well. Knock on wood. I don't want to jinx myself too much. But for the most part, man, the hallways are clear. There's not a lot of stragglers. There's a few here and there, but not many. So please be visible. Keep on being visible. Keep on being in the hallways between classes. Greet the kids at your door. Say hi to them then. Kids need 7 positive contacts a day. A lot of our kids don't get that. So if every teacher were to greet them at the door, that would be helpful. Plus, while you're out there, you can kind of usher them to the next class as well, too. After lunch, that's still pretty slow. It's always been slow. It has been. However, that being said, I don't think it's as slow as it was my first year here. I think that's gotten better too. But that is better because of your guys' presence. So keep on being present out there. Keep on ushering the kids around. It does pay dividends. It does help. Line item number 6, Savista Volunteer Day. I'm sure you guys are pretty excited about hearing this. I know I've emailed you a couple times. I know Mr. Robinson has as well. But please remember this. We have a very supportive community. We do. Savista Bank is very supportive of us. Some of our board members work for Savista, and they want to volunteer here next Wednesday the 20th. They've asked to come in and volunteer. There's going to be 4 of them here that day. The schedule has changed. Originally, when it came out, we were scheduling from 8 to 3. That's changed. It's now 11 to 3. We do have a schedule. I can show it to you quickly. It's right here. So we do have a schedule of the time periods, the volunteers, and when we can fill them in. So we have some missing times here. So if there's something that you could have a volunteer help you with on that day, please contact me. Please let me know. If I'm not readily available, Mr. Robinson is. Let him know as well, too. It's a document that we both have. He shared it with me so we can both fill it in. So be thinking about that. Number 7, talented and gifted. And I have some good news here. You know that we need to have 30 hours of PD per year for the next 2 years in order for us to be able to count your time with our kids as serviced hours. If we don't reach that 60 hours or that 30 hours, we can't count that as talented and gifted hours for our kids. So we need to make sure that we work on this. Now, there's some good news here. The state has allowed us to backtrack PD time that has already been completed, starting with the date of July 1st, 2015. Now, I know there was some confusion there because the state had changed the dates. It was, I think, February or March that they were backing it up to, and then they changed it to July 1. But they did not change the year. So it's July 1st, 2015. So if you've done some PD for the past year and a half, that is talented and gifted, as long as it's after July 1st, that should still count. I also know that Ms. Fajeda has been working with you. She's created a spreadsheet of all of our teachers and how many hours that we have so far logged from just July 1st date to now. So that's an important document. And also think about this. If there's any PD opportunities coming up this year that are anywhere near being talented and gifted, please think about doing that so you can help get those hours. I'm going to share another document with you. This was created by Mrs. Fajeda. This is the Gifted Professional Development Approval Request. You go to the event, you come back, you fill all the stuff out, complete this, and I believe this is what she uses as to determine whether or not she can count this as hours towards your gifted time. She's also shared this document with you as well, the different paths that you can take to reach those 30 hours. We have in-district PD that we've created. There's Mid-Ohio options, there's online options, and then there's these other options. Both of these documents right here were emailed to you by Mrs. Fajeda. If you've misplaced an email, you can always ask me because I still have it. You can email her. She'll send it to you again. But that's an important email to have. So make sure that you find that. Also, please remember that the book study, that's going to count as long as staff members complete the provided assignment, the Google form, the exit ticket that I gave you. Because what that does is that forces you to take the content that was in the book, the content that the presenters presented, and link that to talented and gifted and start thinking about that. How was what we learned today helping my talented and gifted kids? And if we're doing that, then that truly is professional development for talented and gifted. So if you complete that, then that becomes my log for you, at least for that 1 hour staff meeting and that part of the book study. So please make sure that you complete that form. I do plan on emailing that to you guys one more time just in case you've misplaced it. Also with that book study, you're going to have 2 different very short documents coming your way. It'll take no less than 2 minutes for you to get through. They won't come the same day. I'm going to space them out. But what this book study really is, it's the growth mindset. It's saying, listen, we really believe that the kids do have the ability to get smart and that, they can grow their mind. That's what it's about. That's truly what it's about. So there's some growth mindset documents that I'll be sharing with you here over the next 2 weeks. Less than 2 minutes, but they are pretty good documents. So make sure that you do look at them when you receive them. Some upcoming dates that are pretty important for you to keep in your mind, as we've already discussed. Interim report period ends September 22nd. Oh, picture day, September 19th. Always a good day. No chaos there whatsoever. That's the 19th. If you're on the DLT, remember we have our meeting on the 20th after school, I believe it is. And here's one you guys all want to help out with, the homecoming dance. September 23rd, Saturday night, 7:30 p.m., Buckeye Central. Always looking for some good chaperones. Bring a date. Make it a date night. And in all honesty, the dance has gotten better over the last couple of years. There'll be 3 of us there at least. Mr. Robinson always stops in, 4 of us. It is a much better dance. It's come a long ways. So you are more than welcome to stop by and chaperone if you'd like. Next one is the Crawford County Youth Leadership Academy. We're doing that again this year. Our first meeting will be in 2 weeks, September 29th. I will get the list of students to you in the next week or so you know who that is. And then lastly is the Richland County Manufacturing Day. It's a ways off, but I want you to know about it. It's October 6th. That's a Friday as well. We'll pull 25 to 30 sophomores out of school that day. And we'll get that list to you as well in advance. So that's the 6th. Now, I'm sure there's probably some other field trips that are occurring this month that's not listed here. Please remember, I am working from home. I don't have all of that information in front of me. But as usual, I will send out an email every Monday to start the week. And if there's field trips occurring that week, I will try my best to make sure it gets in that email. So if you have any questions, please shoot me an email. Stop by and see me. Send me a text. But that is it. Thanks so much and have a good day. And